This is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. So, interesting topic right here on Keek on the Mic today, as the report out of Chicago is this: Bears not waving white flag following the Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn trades. Obviously, Bears fans, the Chicago Bears were super busy prior to the NFL trade deadline. Obviously, they made some huge deals that involved Roquan Smith to the Ravens and, of course, Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles. They also acquired wide receiver Chase Claypool from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they were also able to net a 2023 second, a 2023 fourth, and a 2023 fifth round pick prior to the trade deadline. So the Chicago Bears and Ryan Poles were very, very busy prior to the trade deadline. And obviously, I just listed off all those assets that the Bears were able to get in return, hoping to build for the future of the Chicago Bears franchise. Obviously, a guy like Chase Claypool can help the Chicago Bears offense and Justin Fields right now. But even though the Chicago Bears made those moves, right, and they were super busy prior to the trade deadline, there's a lot of Bears fans and a lot of the national media that were asking, well, are the Chicago Bears tanking, right, for the future? Obviously, when you're looking at the Chicago Bears, they are a rebuilding team, and there's no way around that. And a lot of people were thinking that the Chicago Bears were sellers, which they were sellers, but they were also buyers. Obviously, like I just mentioned earlier in the podcast, they acquired wide receiver Chase Claypool from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Ryan Poles was both a seller and the buyer prior to the trade line. So obviously, there are a lot of people thinking that the Bears are just tanking the season and waving the white flag. But in a recent interview, quarterback Justin Fields sent a clear message about the idea of tanking, and this is exactly what he had to say in his recent interviews. Check this out, Bears fans.
Obviously, the biggest subtraction is on the defense side of the ball, but you are basically the franchise leader of that team. Do you have to step up and kind of make sure that guys don't feel like we're kind of waving the white flag? This season doesn't matter. It's all about the future, and kind of just keep that competitive fire going when guys see Roquan Smith, Robert Quinn leaving this team?
Yeah, I mean, nobody, has that mindset on our team. Everybody on the team, including the coaches, we want to win games. We want to win every game. So nobody's waving the white flag. We're all attacking each day, trying to be better, trying to, improve each and every day. So, just guys on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to have to step up. Leadership's going to have to step up over there. So, we all talked about it. We all, kind of, went through it. Texted Roquan and, just told him, thank you for being the teammate he was to me, being the brother he was to me and to everybody else. So, of course, that was a big loss to us. But, we have the leaders on this team and the players on this team to step up.
And honestly, Bears fans, I absolutely loved what Justin Fields had to say here, right? Obviously, when you trade guys like Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, not only were those two leaders on the defense, but they were captains of your entire football team. They were leaders of the football team, right? So obviously, it's a business. It hurt more to lose Roquan Smith rather than Robert Quinn, but that's the nature of the business, and the Bears were able to net 3 picks for those two players. But I absolutely loved what Justin Fields said in that interview. He made it very clear that there's no tanking going on. We're going to remain competitive. And now this allows Justin Fields to step up as one of the core leaders, right? Obviously, Justin Fields was already a captain of this football team. But obviously, when you look at veterans like Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, obviously, maybe they were higher on the pecking order in terms of leaders on the team. By trading 2 of your biggest, most vocal leaders on your football team, this allows Justin Fields to step up and be vocal and be like, you know what? Hey, we're going to rally the troops and we're going to continue to play. And obviously, that's how it should be. Does that mean this leads into wins for the Chicago Bears? Absolutely not. Obviously, there's some gaping holes on the defense. Right now, obviously, when you lose a guy like Robert Quinn, even though he wasn't productive, he was still a leader. And people really rallied behind him. And of course, Roquan Smith as well. He was an excellent linebacker. I know he was kind of up and down this season in terms of stats, but overall he was leading the NFL in tackles for a reason. And once again, he was a vocal leader on this football team. And obviously you're going to miss the presence of a guy like Roquan Smith. You're going to miss the presence of a guy like Robert Quinn. But obviously guys like Justin Fields, guys like Jalen Johnson, right? Guys like even like Eddie Jackson are going to have to rally these young guys together and go out there and play football. Because at the end of the day, this is the nature of the business. Guys like Roquan Smith get traded all the time, right? Doesn't mean you stop playing football. Of course, you're gonna be missing that void of a Roquan Smith, but at the same time, you can't stop playing. So that's why I absolutely loved what Justin Fields said, right? Obviously, he mentioned nobody has that mindset of tanking, and this team still wants to win football games. And I know it's a quick turnaround. Obviously, you traded Roquan Smith this week, and now you have to prepare for a game, but you have to separate the two things and go out there and try to win football games. And like I said, just because Justin Fields comes out and he's stepping up as a leader, doesn't mean it translates to wins, right? This is still a very young football team. This is still a football team that is still building. But I think one of the positives that we can take out of this is that Justin Fields is stepping up as a leader, right? He wants that responsibility to step up as a leader and try to help his team win football games. And when you look at the trade deadline, yes, the Chicago Bears were sellers. Yes, we got rid of Roquan Smith. Yes, we got rid of Robert Quinn. So we added draft capital, and that's really good for a team that's rebuilding. But the Bears were also buyers. We added a very, very good receiver and wide receiver Chase Claypool, a guy that can not only help us now on offense, but that's going to be able to help us in the future as well. And especially when you're looking at a guy like Justin Fields, right? A guy that has been playing really good football these last couple of weeks. And now the offense seems like they're turning a corner. Chase Claypool will definitely help this Chicago Bears offense and hopefully help Justin Fields take the next level. And I know it does suck losing a guy like Roquan Smith, right? I'm not even going to talk about Robert Quinn, right? That was obviously an expected move. But losing a guy like Roquan Smith, it does hurt. But at the end of the day, the two sides, meaning Ryan Poles, the Chicago Bears, and Roquan Smith, weren't going to come to a conclusion on a new long-term deal. And once again, that's the nature of the business. So Ryan Poles did what he had to do and traded Roquan Smith to net, I feel like, 2 valuable picks, hopefully, in next year's draft. But overall, I love the mindset from Justin Fields. I love the mindset from the other leaders that are stepping up and saying, you know what, we're going to, it sucks that we lost 2 of our team captains and 2 of our team leaders on the football team, but we still have to get these guys together and go out there and try to win football games. And that's a good mindset to have, because we still have 8 games left in the season. So you can't just sit there and go out there and just get your butt whooped every single time, right? And like I said, just because Justin Fields comes out is going to rally these guys together and try to compete doesn't mean it leads into the wins. But at the end of the day, there are some winnable games against teams like the Falcons, against teams like the Jets, right? Those are winnable games for the Chicago Bears, teams like the Lions, right? So you still have to put your best foot forward, rally these guys together, and go out there and be competitive for the rest of the season. And like I always like to say, especially for Justin Fields, these next 8 games are very important. What we want to see from Justin Fields is to continue to stack these games together. And it looks like he is on the right direction, on the right path to end this football season for the Chicago Bears. So overall, I'm still super excited about the future of this football team. I'm still super excited about the future of Justin Fields. And this is one of the reasons why I'm super excited about the future of Justin Fields, because even though we traded away, once again, 2 of our bigger leaders on this football team, he is taking upon himself to be that leader that this football team needs right now, especially when you look that the Chicago Bears team is a very young team. So I'm very pleased, and I hope the Bears remain competitive, and I expect them to go every week and put their best foot forward. Before I let you guys go, Bears fans, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think the Chicago Bears are waving the white flag on the season after trading Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.